Recordings.
Broadcasting live.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Topeka and Jessica's Live. So we are here with you all on this Tuesday. We're going to wait for some more people to come on board. So tonight we have our special guests, Bert Reed and Schwartz.
How you doing, everyone?
What's up?
And I'll make sure we're on good.
Back again.
Part 2.
You got that cup, man.
Ice water.
Okay.
My vocals right.
That was some.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, we're going to stop it.
Huh?
Okay, hey, First Lady, how you doing? We're on the air. Yep, we're good. It worked. Yep. So I'm going to go tag some people, so we're good. Jessica, I'm going to let you start with the introductions. I'm going to go tag my people, and I'll let you tag your people on there so we can get it going. So if that's okay with y'all.
You say you want me to start?
Yeah, the introduction. I'm going to go tag people.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So everybody, welcome to Topeka and Jessica's Live that we have weekly. So tonight we are doing a part 2 with a continuation with Schwartz and Bert Reed from the first episode. And if you missed the first episode, you can always go back and watch it on our page, Topeka and Jessica, or on Topeka's page and my page as well. So tonight they're going to give us some insights about starting up a business, the things that you may want to look out for, the things that you want to do when you're first starting off a business. And they're going to just feed in, whatever else they feel like they need to tell y'all in regards to that. So also tonight we want to let y'all know that we do not say that we're experts in any area that we talk about on here. We basically want to give y'all information, provide a platform for people to discuss things. And of course, if y'all feel there's any way that we help y'all, we thank y'all because we do here want to give a platform for help, assistance, information, and all that stuff. So we will let the guys get started and just start off and tell us what they got for us tonight.
Well, go ahead, Schwartz.
Okay. All right. Today we want to just talk about people that want to branch off and probably start off a little business, not quit their job, but maybe just add a little LLC and get ready to do some be a private owner for yourself or whatever in the future. It's some couple steps that I know I did. That I guess if it worked, I just jumped out there, try some stuff. Basically had a business. I was already working doing air conditioning. Learned it. Just watched everything they were doing. Bought a van and had some customers. So I got a business right there. So now I had to make it legit. So just went on to Sundays, got a LLC going on. It wasn't expensive at all. So yeah, that's the first step. And then, shirts, cards, and then just try it. I don't know. Go ahead, Bert.
Hey, so we're gonna follow up with phase 2. Phase 1, when we had our first interview, me and Schwartz came on here. We kind of wanted to explain to you guys why construction is the thing right now, why it's a good industry to get into, some of the benefits, why we got into it, how we got into it. And if you like, we can share that with you guys, a little brief part, but you can go back and watch that. That's on their page. They did a great job. And first of all, I want to thank these ladies for giving us the opportunity to share our story. Me and Schwartz both have a unique story. We both are from Panama City. We both had some run-ins with things we wasn't proud of, and we found ourselves in construction, and it's made us and it's allowed us to provide for our family. And we are owners of a construction business, which I think is important. It's important for a lot of reasons. And we will today want to show you guys how to get started from A to B, just to get started. I think that's so important, whether you're working for somebody right now or you're not even in the construction industry, but it's a good deal to get into. But even if you're not in the construction industry, this lesson that we're going to talk about and just these steps that we're going to talk about. And keep in mind, we're not a lawyer, like Jessica said. We just giving you knowledge, and we're having a conversation. We're trying to share the knowledge that made us get to the point that we are at this point. But piggybacking off chapter 1, the interview 1 we did with the ladies of Y Construction. And if you want to know, I'll touch on some of those reasons. It's a lot of opportunity in construction right now. Big opportunity. You see a lot of building going on, from new buildings. You see a lot of renovation going on. And I think we can bring a lot of value by adding the trades to this industry. I think we're missing a lot of that. And I
makes a lot of minorities. Like minorities is not in the field right now, and I think that's what we're missing at. And it's important that we get the information out, and all these guys that got felony records think it's, you know what I mean? It ain't no way it is. I'm telling you, I promise you. Just stick to it and jump into one of these trades and try it out. It won't fail you. I promise.
And so, Jessica, if you want me to, kind of how I did it and how I went about it, that's kind of what I can tell you, and how one should start off. I think it's big. You got to start off with your name, what you want to name your business. A lot of people get stuck on what they want to name their business. They want the name to be perfect. I don't think that's real. And I think people get stuck on the name so much that you don't start, and you kind of freeze up. I don't know how that was for you, Schwartz. How was that? How did you come up with, your name?
I just thought of, I know. Mike Mitchell. When I was working for him, we worked together, but he was my boss. Yeah. And I would do a lot of side work, me and my partner, and he just said, "Oh yeah, GNC, like my last name and his last name. I see you doing side work. And then that name stuck to me. And then when I started, that's what I named it after him.
Wow.
Those comments, GNC.
Hey, just from that idea. And Jessica, may I ask you, how'd you come up with your name or your company?
Well, my name, actually, I got it from my kids. So it's a combination of my oldest two. It's Nali. So the Nali is the last part of my son's name. And then the SK is the first initial of my daughter's first name and middle name. So I said, if I named it after something that I love, I know I'm going to stay consistent and really put my all into it. I'm going to do that anyway, but it's just like when my kids attached to it, it's just like an extra to it.
Yeah, I respect that. Completely understand. Hey, and I think is, you want to take your name take your time with your name on your company, but don't get hung up on it. But it has to mean something to you. And I think that's the first thing. But you also got to run it through to make sure nobody else has that name registered in Florida. Right. So you want to go through, you want to check and make sure it's not anywhere else in Florida. It can be in other states, but not in Florida. And that's step one. You want to make sure you do that and get that taken care of. And your name, people are going to ask you, why'd you name your company your name? So you want to make sure it kind of means something to you. You have a little story to go with it. It's a great icebreaker. I would say the reason why I named my company Icon Construction, because I always want to be iconic and, and being an icon and moving forward and moving the industry forward and being different. And that's kind of how I came up with my name. And so that's step one, coming up with a name, whether you put it through a name generator, you just let it do what it do, but don't get caught up on it, I would say, on step one. Anything, Schwartz, you would like to say on step one as far as, you know what I mean? Just
yeah, that was pretty much it. I know, definitely do that. And then, you want to get some insurance, some liability insurance for sure. It's pretty cheap.
All right.
Under $100 a month, I think. Depends on what you're doing, what type of work you're doing or whatever. Once you get some liability insurance and you got the LLC, and you might want to go down to the city and get a license with them also.
Yeah, hey, but that's like step 9. Like as far as when you get to the city and getting your building license. Okay. I would say step 2 from step 1 is getting your name. Is you're gonna go to the sunbiz.org. You mentioned that earlier, Schwartz. You're gonna go to the sunbiz.org. A lot of people get caught up with the whole website deal, and it's amazing to see how people are afraid to go do this. It's literally probably 9-10 steps to just become a real entity.
Yes.
And I say that I'm gonna go back to my steps, but I say that when you become a real entity, you start to take yourself serious, even if you're not moving in the business, even if the business ain't got really no motion, you still have an entity that you set to a side and it's there. It's, and you're getting that shelf life like we talked about earlier, Schwartz, where your business is growing in age. You know what I'm saying? You might not be doing that yet, but it's growing in age. And so step 2, you go to SunBiz.
That's
you
right.
know, you got to have a registered agent, somebody that's going to be responsible for the mail and where the annual filing is going. You probably will be you if you just start your business.
Right.
Put your name in there, put your address in there. That's going to be step 2. So it's going to be $100. You're going to spend $100. It used to be $85, but literally this whole process is going to cost you $100. And that's $100 investment. I mean, we spend $100 so easy now just with inflation, right? I mean, $100 is not, but you're putting that into yourself. I see that as the investment, like we talked about in part 1. This is all about investing in yourself, and we, even if you don't do nothing in this LLC for, like I say, a year or 2, you just started something, you put it in motion.
And the quicker you just jump out there and do it, and just just take a chance, each year you'll get more comfortable. You'll see it's working. You'll see it's making money. Then you'll see that you have slow periods, all right, but you don't panic. You know what I mean? Just keep doing good work, good customer service, and then they always call back, tell me.
Yeah, and Schwartz, like you said, man, when you say just jump out there, it's probably scary for a lot of people. But what I realized in a lot of businesses, and as I've been in corporate and working for myself, nobody really has it all figured out.
No.
No, I still got no blueprint to say this is exactly how this gonna work.
I still jump on Google and be asking questions.
Man, that's part of life. You gotta ask questions. We don't know all the answers. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't either before they knew the answer either. Nobody's gonna be perfect when you come out. You're gonna make mistakes. But even before you get to that point, not even having your business active yet. I'm just talking about just register your business, taking a chance on yourself, spending $100 on yourself, and creating a name, going to sunbiz.org, putting you as a registered agent, and registering your business. And once you register the business, you want to have, I would say, this is a step that, so you register a business, $100, you went through the steps. They're gonna give you the articles of incorporation. Make sure you save that. That's a piece of information that a lot of people you finish the process and you don't save. But you're going to need that articles of incorporation to start your bank account.
That's right.
And the articles of incorporation, you're going to need that to start your bank account, and you're going to need your EIN. The EIN is free. So you go to the IRS website, you go get an EIN. They're going to give it to you right then most of the time.
Just like another social security number for your business. That's it.
And you become, in my mind, when you get that EIN, whether you become kind of powerful because you got more options now. You got more options to be able to do things with your business. And that's way down the line when we're talking, but you're able to do things inside your business that you couldn't do as a person. So you went to SunBiz, you got your articles of incorporation, you're filed, you got your name, you got your EIN. So now going to back what Schwartz said, so your JIT company, now you want to go get registered with the city, and a lot of times people forget that you got to get registered with the city, and just to do business. You got to go get registered with the city just to do business. That's for them to tax you. And
that's right.
Yeah, they're pretty strict on if you have any type of business in this city, in this town, you got to have a business license. And a lot of people get confused. Schwartz, this is what I seen before I was even a contractor. And they'll try to play you as having a business license and having a contractor license, or having an HVAC license, or they're 2 different type of license.
That's right.
So, and Topeka, you wanted me to mention that as far as the different type of license, as far as having a business license, which we all have to have if we have a business, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, but then also having like what we have, Schwartz, is the HVAC license or the trade license.
Right.
Two different type of deals. You know what I mean? And you can get kind of messed over as a customer thinking somebody has a license. They say that, yeah, I got my business license, I got my license, but they're just talking about their public business license with the county, which we all have to do business.
That's right.
Yeah, and I got screwed over on that before. I just had to learn. It's completely different what we have, and so from there, you have a business, you have a legit business, and I mean, $100, that's what it costs you. IRS, that was free, and now you have a business license, which is cost you $100, $50, whatever county you're in, and now, so it's what we go into the insurance and what we talked about earlier.
Oh yeah, and that's important. A lot of people won't they won't do real business with you without it. Especially trying to set up some contract work. They gonna want to know that you got some liability insurance just in case something happens. That's just how it go. So definitely gotta have that going forward. It don't cost much. Gonna be about it ain't gonna be much at all. I know that for sure. It's worth it. Yeah, all that's worth it.
Yeah, so once you form your business and you become a legit business, after you get a bank account, you got everything that you need from your articles of incorporation, you got your EIN, you go get a bank account. And I know I'm speeding through these steps, it may seem like, but this could be a process where you don't even really put no business into the business. You just got it there. But the thing about it became real. And Schwartz, you said something that was cool, that when he hit you with the name, it kind of resonated with you and it stuck. And it became real when you started filing the LLC.
That's right.
And I think that's such a big transition part where you take something from paper and you just make a move and you make it kind of action. You make a move on it, and that type of energy transfers and keeps snowfall. It's like a snowball effect. You do one thing, and I say take this first step.
Oh yeah, and definitely I want to kind of touch on the more guys getting into this trade. Like I don't know. I ain't sure if there's a lot of guys on here watching this live or whatever. I don't know. I just hope they listening. Ask questions. For real. Like, it's getting serious out here, man. Next 10 years, Panama City, there's gonna be plenty of work in the trade, man. We can run it up. I'm telling you right now, like, this is a perfect opportunity for everybody to change their life.
Yeah, it's a big shortage, man. And what he's trying to say, I piggyback off what Schwartz is saying, is we need more people. We need more men to be in this industry. And because there's a skill gap where a lot of the older contractors,
they're retiring,
and it's a perfect opportunity to get some new blood and people that I'm talking. And you see it a lot with programs around school. I see Panama City doing a good job with almost every school has a construction program now. I really, really like that. And you see,
nice.
These kids, they start to see, and that's because we need it. We need it in this community, in Panama City. But not just in Panama City, in Florida and in the country. There's a big initiative to build infrastructure. Joe Biden, $1 trillion that they're spending, $550 billion on just infrastructure. So we need industry trade guys. And the pay's there, man. The pay's there. But I think they just have to see it, Schwartz. They have to see it first. They have to see that it's fruitful. It's worth going to school for it. It's worth, and we're gonna get into that as far as how we even got out. They have to see that it's fruitful. It's worth going to school for it. Oh, I'm sorry. But that's what they got to see. I mean, and like we talked about on the first episode, people just see the construction as 1%, and I see the 10%. I'm sorry, as far as the person with the hammer or the people on the roads that you just see that's in the way. That's literally all people see in construction, in my opinion. And just people sweating all day and banging the hammer.
That's right. It's more. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I always want to be a plumber too. I know I did AC, but I don't know. The plumbers make a lot of money.
It's money all over as far as in what you do, man. And I say it's just another route for us that we need to take for we can build our family, our community. And it's gonna take us. And I think even with what you're doing and what I'm doing, it's gonna take us to build our community back. They're not really gonna invest like we will in our community. And so what we try to do is bring more people like us in the community together, and we have these resources that we can change some things and help.
Sade, we had a question. Sade said, when registering a business, try to use a business address or virtual address, not so much personal address listed as your business address. Right, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's great information. Thank you, Sade.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's an important time that, I mean, people are literally recruiting people to come join this industry.
Oh yeah, I'm recruiting. I want some young jitterbug that don't know nothing. I can just train them up real good. Yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, and what it's gonna do is, I preach, man, it's gonna give you another route. You know, I had one profession for 30, 25 years. You know what I'm saying? I knew one thing. And yeah, that's it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, and it was good, but when it's over, you got 75 more years to live. You know what I mean? You only live a quarter of your life, and you knew one thing. So if you give somebody with a skill earlier, right? You give them skill earlier, you present them with the skill. That doesn't necessarily mean I wouldn't play football, but I would have had another skill.
That's right.
You know, at 12 or 13, I know how to hang drywall. I know how to run pipe. You know, it's small stuff that it ain't really hard work. You know what I mean?
Michelle Bryant did have a comment. What she said? You can pull that back up. I seen some flop pro. Okay. Oh yeah, she's talking about. I guess she's talking about insurance right now to do work at 10 hour for a base. Oh yeah, most definitely 10 hour for a base. You got to come with it for sure.
Yeah, and like she said, diversifying your skills, man. That's really all about. But it's also giving us something that we can take and go further with our families. Yes, I think we lost a lot of that. You know, whether it be because a lot of factors, right. But the skills being passed down, you know, I mean, that stopped.
It stopped. It did stop. It did stop. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I got it. I got lucky. I just tried something.
And it worked. You took a chance. You know what I'm saying? You took a chance.
That's right.
That's really what you got to do.
So yeah, my idea, my goal is to definitely try to teach what I've learned, try to pass it down to others. You know what I mean? I want to be active with it aggressively. I don't want to just be talking it and talking a good game. I want to get busy with whoever want to get busy with me and learn something. Young, old, I don't care. Come on with it. You know what I mean? Be in Panama City all the time and doing some work, trying to do some work, or trying to get some help. What's happening? Did we go blank?
So I think all of those are very good statements from what I believe. I don't know why I'm echoing, but hold on one second. So I think all of those are very good statements. And we do have a lot of our viewers that are chiming in. So I do know Miss Michelle, she said, thank you guys for all that you do. And then Cece, she was like, this is good info. So thank you. Thank you for joining us, Cece. And Michelle and Sade and whomever else came on board since we've started. So we are definitely thankful that Bert and Schwartz with us to share this knowledge and provide this information to us, because it's helpful not just with the construction or trade business, but with any business. Is basic information. And a lot of people do skip over steps when they are going to register a business or thinking about starting a business. And from there, a lot of times we do overthink a lot of stuff, and they both hit that on the nail. I just wanted to break in the middle of them, just to go to our comments for a second. And then we had Sade. She was just saying that when Schwartz did speak, she was saying it was a statement about going back when registering a business. Try to use a business address or virtual address, not so much your personal address listed as a business address.
Right.
And I know for sure with that, a lot of times I know with me and Jessica a few years ago, going back looking at our business, different businesses and stuff. When you do use your personal address, that's your information out there to the public, and who's to say how that would be used, if you care how it will be used. So even if you get a virtual address, that kind of protects you in your privacy as well. because I mean, I don't know if you are doing business with somebody and say, for instance, you are building and they may have an issue or you may not be responding in time, or maybe they feel it's an emergency and it's really not. I don't think you want them showing up to your home, knocking on your door at 4 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, why is this not here, So that's another reason, just a form of protection as well with using a virtual address or your business address versus your personal address. But I do know starting out, a lot of times people don't have a virtual address or a business address. So if that's all you have is your personal address, you can always use that and then go back and change it later.
Yeah.
But that's very, very good information, Sade. And then Michelle said, yes, you have to diversify your skills.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Cece. She was saying, how hard is it to get your contractor's license? My godson is interested in learning more. He's 21 and watching with me. Oh, that's awesome. So I'm going to let them take the floor on that. I'm going to go ahead and step back. I just wanted to go over some of the comments. But y'all, please keep the comments coming, the questions coming, the statements, because we will definitely chime in on those. Okay.
Oh, that's Bert Lane,
Hey, first of all, I mean, just what he's thinking, the way he's thinking to jump out there and get your contract license. You got the right thought process, young man.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily hard, but it is worth it. And so, with that being said, it's going to be some barriers that you're going to have to go through. I sent Topeka a list of schools that offer contracting, construction school, whether it be for roofing, HVAC, plumbing, inspector, which is another construction field that, I mean, we're really, really short in inspectors, home inspectors. If I wasn't a contractor, a general contractor, a building contractor, I would be an inspector, just because the amount of work available for inspector. But I sent Topeka some schools that offer the service of online or in-person construction school in Florida. And what these schools do is they give you the game. They don't necessarily teach you how to be a contract, how to like go, and build a house per se. They're not going to teach you that. Experience is going to teach you that, but they're going to teach you how to pass this test and how to know this information that you're going to need to know. The 2020 Florida Building Code is what you're going to need to know. And these schools, they do a really good job of helping you understand the information, but more importantly, where to find the information. So it's not necessarily very hard, but it is an entry. It's a barrier to entry because it's going to take some investment for you to. No one's just going to go, even with prior knowledge to how to do HVAC, just going to go past this test because it's not necessarily based off skills.
Business.
Yeah.
Customer service, all this.
Hey, so what he's getting to, there's 3 different tests. Most of the time, you're going to have your business and finance test. So they're going to want you to know about business. They're going to want you to know about accounting. They're going to want you to know about deductions, depreciation. They're going to want to know about interest rates. And this is what a lot of people get caught up on this because they know how to build a house. They know how to wire AC. They know how to do plumbing, but they don't know business and finance. And so a lot of people just get scared or caught up on that. And I don't want to scare you, but you'll learn this throughout the class. And they give you books. I mean, those classes, you're able to purchase the books. I went to school. It cost me total investment was probably like $3,700. I mean, just with the school and with the books, you get a year tuition. I went online. They offer it. They offer it in person as well. Schwartz, how'd you without having just knowledge and man, that's awesome. You didn't go to no school.
I did, but
yeah,
I didn't learn anything in school.
What you mean by that though?
Yeah, I did. What do you say?
I said, what you mean? Like you went, but you ain't learned that.
Yeah, I did. I went to school in Pensacola for air conditioning, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about air conditioning, and I was staying out here. It was back in like 2008. Yeah, and then I had moved out here. That's when I had got some trouble. Yeah, moved out this joint, and went to school, and I was just doing something, man. I wasn't I ain't really know nothing after the class. I ain't really learned nothing, so I got in the field with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna even lie to you. It was, I don't know, it was
Hey,
weird.
so let me ask you a question, if you don't mind, Schwartz. Like,
Yeah.
how'd you tackle the business and finance part of the test? Like, how'd you study for that? Like,
Oh no, I'm studying now. I ain't even no. I don't have a license.
oh, okay,
HVAC license.
okay,
I pretty much I sub under somebody else.
oh, okay. I
So
understand that.
I'm still little. I'm still a little guy.
No, you still, I mean, you
Yeah.
still able to make moves.
Oh yeah,
So, and
definitely.
yeah, but that
Uh-huh.
next level opened up so much doors.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
so if you need, I mean, when it comes to the books, Schwartz, I got the books, and
Yeah.
that's a big investment that holds a lot of people up, because
Mhm.
just to get the books, you're looking at $1,700.
That's right.
I mean, you might get them used for like $1,200. So I mean, when you're talking getting licensed, at first we're talking just having a license to be able to do a trade. Okay, you work for, let's just say you work for a towel company. You've been laying towel for 5 years, and you kind of want to start your own business. You can lay towel. So then we gave you those steps as going to get your LLC, getting your insurance, and getting your workers' comp, right?
Yep.
And now you can work for somebody that you don't need a trade license to do towel. And so, but you still, the LLC, you still got your LLC, which is important. But the next step is to take it and to be able to get those trade license. And every step you go up, your value goes up, and
Most
you're able to charge more money and take care of your family better.
Yes.
Your best experience is hands-on, yeah. Your best experience is hands-on.
Information. And then CC said, Bert, he inboxed you on Facebook.
All right, CC, I'll look out for that. Hey, and I know people that, as far as with the big boy, your best experience is always going to be hands-on, because it's going to be different than when you get in the field. But to pass this test, it's not a hands-on deal. It's more specific, knowing the specific answers, and it will be different when you get in the field. But to know these answers on this book, it has nothing to do with experience prior to that. And that's I don't know if it's a nugget where it doesn't matter how much HVAC or ductwork you install. When you go and ask those tests, they want specific answers, and
You
you
can
got
have
to know where to go.
you can hold a HVAC license and don't know the first thing about air conditioning.
A lot of people do, man.
A
You'll
lot
be
of people do.
surprised, man. It's a way. Yeah, a lot of people don't. Because it's different. You get the license, and some people do know what they're doing and couldn't pass this test, and so
Right.
it's a need for both. And that's why it's open, not to just. And a little trick is that a lot of men will get their wives to take these tests and get the
That's
license under their name. I mean, because you don't need to know about, to a certain extent until, you hopefully you have the insurance to do the work, but you don't. This is a test that's based off the information that we're giving you. It's not about what's happening in the real world.
And Tamika made a comment on that.
Yeah. Thank you, Jace. I appreciate it, man.
Okay, yeah. And Tamika was saying the best experience is hands-on. Is hands-on. You go to school to
Get
get
knowledge.
knowledge and your certificate, etc. Just her thoughts. And then JC, he pretty much said much success to both of you guys.
Okay,
And I know
JC.
JC, he has a
My G.
painting business, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, in Panama City?
Oh,
If you can chime into that. But again, also what we're trying to do is network as well. So again, he hopped on, and we thank you for hopping on. And he's one of our, weekly supporters, and we thank you because we have a list of those. So we do thank you for that. But even with that, so networking is also what we want to do. So if you do know others as well that may be in the trade or have some type of skill set, again, let's all get together, pull our resources together. We build on each other. So
yeah, JC, could you reach out to me? I'm sorry, JC, if you could you reach out to me so I can get your information? And just like Topeka's saying, and just network, if you could, man.
that's right.
Awesome. That's great. That's what it's about. Iron sharpens iron. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied, but that's very important. We don't have enough of that, I feel. Because, I can have one trade or one skill set. But again, if I'm not networking myself, or if others are not out there sharing my skill set or what I do, we're kind of like stuck in a little bubble. But if we all get together, like, hey, pass our business cards, pass our information, that'll definitely help us go far as a community and as an individual.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get it back to them. I just want to chime in on that.
Growing the community is big, and that's kind of the reason why I'm doing this. Just to want to grow the community, grow the awareness, and bring us together and have a network of contractors that we can trust from here to where you're at, Topeka, from the whole North Florida, where we reach out and we take care of each other. You can refer them to somebody, if you're not doing that or available, we can take care of you and backed by somebody that And what I wanted to say to JC, it's plentiful. It's enough, for everyone. It might seem like it's a lot going on right now. It might seem like it's late, but there's more building to come. There's more. There's
a lot more. They just getting started, man. I'm telling you, it's a lot of empty lots, a lot of beat up homes, still from the hurricane, stuff going down. It's still, man, it's just starting. That's why it's important that more people join in and start working together for sure.
I mean, it's a lot of opportunity in Panama City. When you go to the building side, I think focusing on kind of building in our communities. If you see, Schwartz, what you're doing is.
I'm big on Glenwood.
Yeah, man. I mean, Glenwood, Millville. It's a lot. It's a lot of opportunity in that area. If you guys have property or have your family has property in that area, don't let it go so easy. It might be at a point right now where we don't really see much, but if you put something on it, it'll get the valuation that you're looking for, in my opinion.
And turn the community around, because now, we got that mark on our back that the hood is dirty, and it is kind of, it ain't dirty, but we just ain't, everybody ain't cleaning up, keeping their yards right, keeping the houses maintained. I don't know. Maybe we should have a HOA in Glenwood. For real. I think that'll work. For real. Like, everybody getting up $100 a month. Just go around and have somebody clean up everything. Have the yards cut. Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
And the thing about it too, a lot of people, they frown upon HOAs. I'm a big supporter of the HOA. Some people are like, oh, I'm paying my money. This is my home. I'm paying for my mortgage. So they don't want nobody telling them what they can and cannot do with their home, with their land, with their property. But to me, and this is me, I would not stay anywhere that does not have an HOA, because again, it helps keep the value of your home up. Now, if I had this big, such acres of land, then probably not. But again, it does help. It makes a big difference. So, but I do understand coming from, where we come from, because I'm from Glenwood as well back in the day. You do kind of see that, like, nah, this is my home. I'm gonna do what I want to do. If I want to paint the doors purple and then the garage, I'm gonna do that. But my neighbor may have a problem. They may not be okay with that. So with that said, it's kind of like, what do you do? But then when I go to other places now as an adult, back in the day it was kind of cute, purple, green. But now as an adult, I'm like, wait a second, what are they doing? The home value, the equity, like it can't happen, So I'm gonna need somebody to come in here. What's my HOA president number calling him? Somebody got to camp out and sit out for like 3 weeks. I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with that, but some stuff is just like, come on, pick up, But again, I think somebody got to start it. If they start it and see it, I think it'd be great, but we have to start it at some point, because we are creatures of habit, So again, I don't know, but some people are still like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to deal with that. I want 50 cars in my, in my driveway, in my garage, or whatever, and broke down cars, whatever it could be.
Yeah.
And I support it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think though, as you and from what I've seen, when I lived in New Orleans for a while, and as you start to build those new homes and those new families start to come in, it has a effect on the people that live there and don't take care of their home. It kind of has an effect where they either know they're about to get bought out, somebody's about to try to buy their house and move them out, or they don't want to be the worst house on this new block no more.
Yes.
And I've seen it, man. I've seen it in New Orleans. It was big. It was kind of like gentrification happening in front of my eyes. And the people that lived next door, they couldn't control it. They knew that either their house was going to get bought for a price, or they were because the neighborhood was appreciating too fast, and this home that's trash beside it, the value, the person was just like, hey, give me the money and I'll go, and it slowly starts to. So I see it work different ways, you know, with if you just build it and you know the price is there, the residual on the neighbors, I think it'll start to change the neighborhood slowly.
Okay, Bert, I had another thing that a guy had mentioned to me. I ain't gonna say no names right this second because he's still, you know, he in talks with me about a training program for when guys come out of corrections or whatever, instead of going through you know, the fast food restaurants and Golden Corral and little stuff like that. Like, have a training program already in place to where they can, you know, learn a skill and not just come and get a job and fall off and fall back into the same routine. Yeah, he said that it's a lot of people willing to invest in that type of program in the around the nation.
Yeah, that's a big need for that, and that'll be dope, man. And because when you're coming out of that situation, you know your values a little bit. You feel like your values is more than what you got going on at that time.
Yeah,
and just to give them a skill and opportunity, I'll be down for it. So yeah, man, let's put that together. However, but and then you know you come out different. When you hungry, you open minded, something. So that'll because I mean, yeah,
that'll be right there. Yeah, I like that idea for sure.
Yeah. This all came in my mind. In my mind system, this all came to me after I came out of a low situation. You know what I mean? All this to get into this whole industry, man. And I looked at it from a whole standpoint. I saw what was going on in the building industry. I saw what the industry was going before I just was like, yeah, I'm about to do this. Because it took me like 2 years with that construction school and whatnot. It took me like 2 years. But I was at a low point, man, coming out of the system, and like I put the play together, you know, and I tell people that's pretty much what I wanted to give them with the LLC is like putting the play together and just running the play. It's just a different play, you know what I mean?
Well,
just put your name on the deal and put it out there. And if you do good business and you work hard, people, the business will come. But yeah, man, giving them opportunity coming out of that situation, and that's all we can really do in the skill. And you know, it's crazy, man. My dad learned his skill while he was in a program like that.
Yeah.
And he does HVAC, been doing it for like 25 years since then. You know,
I learned that you know, like, man, just being trustworthy and not so aggressive, you know, and then just try to listen to people even when they spending their money, even when they out of line, and still reacting so fast and just, you know, just chill out and just listen to them, man. It always wind up turning out good. So
man.
That's just you know, for guys that seem like they want to be a lot hothead out here, just some advice. You know, you can just trick them, even though you might be a hothead. Just not be a hothead when you're dealing with people. That'll take you a long way for sure.
That is true. And JC said that we really need that coming out of the system, and that is so true because a lot of people think, you know, if they're coming out of the system, that the only thing they have to go to is truck driving, or they have to try to get a job. And I think I posted on my Facebook page, I'm not for sure if I did post it or if I was going to post it, about, you know, you can be an entrepreneur. You know, you really don't have to go and work for anybody.
Oh yeah.
You can be an entrepreneur, like, okay, come on, you know, if you got whatever behind you, you know, that's kind of like a slap in the face, like, darn, what am I going to do? You know, what opportunities are out there? And everybody don't want to drive trucks. So with that said, there are plenty of opportunities out there. And I think that's a good point. Definitely a good point, JC.
And I see how I love the truck movement. I love what, you know, what trucking has done for our community and what it's done for some families. But what I think, if we got some people, you know, with the construction industry like that as well, the same type of movement that they have going on in the trucking industry, because right now it is hope for those guys. And they see it though. They see it with their eyes. They see somebody that just did this to go to do that. And I say that the construction industry, to even get your license or to get to that point, it's kind of like farther down the line than the trucking industry. But people are seeing the success though with the trucking, and that's why I think, you know, more people are amped to go get that and do that. But what it's providing, I really like though for those families.
That is true. Okay. And then Tanisha saying it's a big deal for a men's shelter as well. And that is so true. So true. That's a good point. So that's maybe something that Bert and Schwartz probably can look into, like a men's shelter. That's a great point, Tanisha. So I think she's speaking of in Panama City, a men's shelter.
Okay. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but either way, I mean, men's shelters are really, really big, you know. So I think it's beneficial regardless, you know.
Y'all, I'm sorry. Can y'all hear?
We can hear you, huh?
Well, no, I'm sorry because it's a delay. I got my AirPod in, so it's a delay. I don't want to speak in and then I'll be like way off because y'all are ahead. So that's the only reason why I was saying.
Okay, so she did clarify. Tanisha, she said, hold on so I can get the comment. She said, thank you. She said a lot of men have nowhere to come home to. And that is definitely true, especially when they get out. So that's definitely something worth looking into. And then that probably as well could be like a nonprofit if you want to go there with it too, y'all.
I agree, most definitely. They have those they turning those homes a single family home into like a home that can house like 6 men, you know, for sure. That can be another aspect into a business or someone coming out of corrections, starting getting into a home and not having to go, man, I don't know where they gonna stay at. It'd be crazy. I'll be seeing a lot of situations. So yeah, most definitely.
That is a good point. Good point. And then we got Sade. She was saying you guys can also register with the government, get a contract to teach your trades. You have to teach the kids in the school system as well. Awesome way to reach back and help the community. Wow, they're coming with it. That's great information and great suggestions for them. So thank you.
They're dropping that knowledge.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea.
Yes, most definitely. My phone's gonna die.
Yeah, and to touch in with Sade. Sade has a trucking business.
Oh.
Wow.
So Sade, do you want to give us some insights on that, honey?
You can bring her in. Oh my God, that's big stuff. Big stuff.
I love that people are really like teaching the trucking business and getting granular with it and helping people exactly how to do it. She said, "Run for the trucking business."
Yeah, it seemed like she said, "Run."
Yeah, like, don't do it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah. It sounds like any entrepreneur gonna tell you.
She said, "Run."
Yeah, run.
But that's interesting. She said that because me thinking you see a lot of that now, like a lot of advertising for all of that, right? And I was thinking like, okay, that could be even for a female, right? Definitely for a female, like a good thing to get into, right? You're on the road, you're driving, but to hear her say like, "Run."
Yeah.
That's funny.
But it's like almost like that when you're running your own business, though. When you're an entrepreneur, it's like ups and downs. It's like it ain't as.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not the driver. Oh, yeah.
And then she said, when you're not the driver, it's more issues that can come with it. Wow. Definitely. Yeah. Interesting. That's a good point, though. Good points. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure people want to hear about that, though, that trucking business. You know what I mean? I'm sure as well.
So, are there any questions for us for either Bert or Schwartz? Oh, Sade came back. Let me see what she's saying here. She's saying sometimes the rates don't be right for the miles. And is that because now they have the automatic like trackers in there, or Why is that specifically? Because I do know at one time they said that I guess they were journaling them or keeping track of it on their, on its own or something like that on their own. And I think now there's an app. Is that correct? Wait to see what she says about that.
I think with the trucking business there in this area, there is definitely a need for a schooling as far as the driving portion. Because my son, he wants to he's done the written portion for his CDLs, but he's got to take the driving portion. So he has called around like this week to try to get to school to do the driving portion. And he's basically been told that he has to go out of town to do it. So that's a big need, especially in this area. And Sade said, did you read that comment, Pika?
Which one about, okay, she said that, no, not that. That's the ELD. Maybe that's the old way, maybe. Hold on. And then she said, like they want you to go 100 miles for 300. Absolutely not. Whoa, oh. That's crazy, especially with gas, and you got to think those trucks are taking up more gas than the regular vehicle. So that's crazy for real. So I guess it's really not worth it anymore. It sounds, I'm not saying it's not worth it because I'm sure it's still good money, but I guess if you were in it before, Mm-hmm.
And JC said, Bert, what was your biggest challenge of getting your business off the ground?
Hey, JC, that's a great question, man. I would say the biggest challenge is when you're doing it's the biggest challenge. I would say the biggest challenge would be, scaling. And I mean by scaling is like growing. But let's just say, that's more so getting off the ground. The biggest challenge getting off the ground. I mean, maybe startup money, like not having a credit line. And I would say because you're only limited by some of these jobs, you have to come out of pocket before you're paid for them. So if you don't have a $100,000 credit line, $50,000 credit line, you're limited to some of the jobs that you have to do. But I would say definitely the biggest challenge. I would say that's the biggest challenge is the job size have to be small. If you're doing progress payments where you're putting out the money first as the contractor, and then you're getting paid back on the back end, because sometimes you might have $21,000, $20,000 to put out before you even 3 weeks before you can get that money back, 4 weeks before you can get that money back. That's a big challenge. Another big challenge, I would say, is finding reliable subcontractors to do business with. I think, being a fresh new contractor, you're going to take you a while to go through some subcontractors and people that you want to do business with and do business the right way that like you like to. That's hard. And then I would say getting yourself out there, like, marketing and people to trust you or people to believe in your service. But it's always good to start with your family and start with people that are close to you. But I would say those are the tough three challenges that I face, from the size of the job that I was able to do to the marketing and things like that. Great question, though, buddy.
That's good. And Sade was saying that it's an electronic log, and that's what she was referring to earlier. And then Tamika, she said, FYI, a lot of people go to take their test with the school system at transportation to pass the test. I never thought about it. That's interesting for their CDLs. And they go drive for other trucking companies. I've known several people that have done that. That's kind of smart. I never would have thought about that. And the school system probably pays for it as well. Is that correct, Mika? I'll see what she says when she comes back. And Sade, she came back and she said, it's not a bad industry, but once you learn what's best for you and your truck, you will be okay. I'll suggest anyone to learn and get knowledge on the industry before jumping into it. Figure out where you want to run, what areas are paying, etc. That's great information. Yeah, great. Really so see, even from this conversation we came on, we're talking about building, the contractors, construction and stuff, but it definitely open up other avenues as well for other industries, right? And again, reaching out, touching others. And it's a lot of people that actually go into it and they may decide to get their own trucks, and put those on the road, form their own business. So this information, again, will help that entity as well. It's not just, again, for the contractors, for HVAC, builders, boutiques, real estate, whatever it is definitely, general knowledge information on what we need, where we need to go and stuff. So that's definitely great. I love that. Yeah. But I didn't know that about the school system. So and that's smart though. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
and whether it's, trucking, construction, or any other industry, I think it's about economic empowerment where we're learning and having trades and skills that we can pass down and provide for our family and not be lost to the system or to just, to the wayside. And I'm not saying working all your life is something that's provided for a lot of families, but after you work 30 years, 20 years, you have a skill, you have knowledge, you have tools that you can capitalize off of and go multiply. I think that's so big to not, get complacent and push yourself and challenge yourself so your family can grow and you can grow.
Yes, and I think that's very important as well. Learning skill sets, like you said, to grow and to pass along or get your kids in there to start doing stuff. Even though your kids may, eventually have their own thing they want to do, they still have that knowledge of whatever background that they can use and, put in somewhere else and pass on to their kids. So
for sure. Mm-hmm. Or even most time, give them something to fall back on. I mean,
right.
When we don't, even like when it doesn't happen the way we want it to happen, we might got to do this for a little bit, but we know we can make some money this way. And for a long time, I feel like us as Black men, there was only a couple ways we knew we can make money, and it was, I don't know if it was programmed in us, however it went, but it was a for sure way we knew we can make money. And I think we add some other ways that we can make money by what we've known for 10, 20 years, because our dad was doing it, because our parents was doing it. And we might have to do it forever, but it gives you an avenue to get back on your feet, without doing something illegal.
Right. Definitely want to have different avenues and multiple streams of income if you can. So
yes, and some of them residual income where you're not having to get out there and work for it, it's just coming to you. And real estate is a great way to do that with residual income. You build it, whether you do like a flip method, whether you actually do a lease method or whatever it is, it's residual income. You're doing the work like up front once. Not saying you're not going to have maintenance if you decide to lease it or rent it, but again, it's money coming in, residual income. So when they say multiple streams, that don't mean you getting out here working 10 jobs trying to get them multiple streams, that's very important. So with that said,
And Tamika said she'll have to get back to you on that information because things have changed now since she started, yet they get their CDLs and leave because driving is not for everyone.
Good. That's a good point. She has a good point. Wow. I'm learning tonight. I'm learning. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Sharing knowledge.
Yes.
So I love it.
JC said, without a trade or owning a business, you are limited as a man out here, subject to just manual labor on jobs.
Right. Yeah. Whatever they give you.
Wow, that is true. And you really have you kind of, man.
Yeah, when you go get your LLC, like Schwartz saying, when you go get your LLC, just filing that little thing, they become less powerful over you. You know what I mean? Even if you got that trade, they're teaching you, you're learning from on their clock. But you go get your own trade and you ain't got to do it 100% time. Have it as a hobby or a side job. You know what I mean? Do it on the weekends. Do it at nights. Go get some extra money, but you're learning on their dime. And then now you transition. You're building a client base. It can work, but you start small.
Yeah,
that's so true.
And to touch base with y'all, like I said, I had a delay in what y'all were saying, so I didn't want to just come in and be way off from what y'all were on, the topic y'all were on that time. But yes, when starting a business, I didn't start mine the right way. I was all over the place because I had no clue what I was doing.
Wow.
So I had a name. I started off as a sole proprietor. Then I changed over to LLC. But that came with learning. And I also have a business coach because I'm still learning. And like you said, when you have a business, you're going to continue to learn. You got to continue to learn to continue to grow and still make sure you're staying on top of things with how everything is going as well. So that's another thing with the business. If you do start a business, just make sure you still be teachable and make sure you still learn what's going on with everything.
It's a lot to learn in business. Like the young lady's saying, man, it's being an entrepreneur is not, it's different every day, but it's a lot to learn all the time. Like I was saying, nobody knows it. Nobody has it figured out. You can run your business different than they run their business. You can do your books different than they do their books. It's just, it's a lot to learn, but it's exciting, it's fun, and it's gratifying because you're working for yourself.
Right.
You're doing it for your family.
Another thing you can hit on is the business tax from the LLC, how you get it, and what you can use with it. And I think we skipped that. We can hit on the business tax, business credit. I'm sorry. Did we hit on that?
I think y'all touched on a little bit, didn't you?
Okay.
Just a little.
With that, once you got your LLC and you making a little money, you want to report it. You know what I mean? You let them tax it, and then you can. A website. Another good thing is if you want to get business credit, you want to build a website with a business email, a business phone number, and then once you want to present that to a bank along with 2 years of W-2s tax forms and showing you had business and pay taxes on it. Strong possibility you can get business credit and use that to get things.
Right. And a business bank account. I don't know if did y'all talk about that?
Yeah, they briefly touched base on that about you needing your EIN and the information you needed to obtain a business bank account, which is very important because you definitely want to separate your business funds from your personal funds for tax purposes and then for auditing purposes as well. Because once you become a business, you are up for, you are regardless with IRS, but again, you're in a whole different class now. So you want to have that. So, and if you do go and try to get business credit, you're going to need all of that information as well to show, the income, the liabilities and all that's related to your business. So that's very important with the business bank account.
Right. Because they do want to see that you have money coming through there as well when you go to get different things with your business as far as credit and stuff like that.
And then I know another thing too, I know they touched on doing your LLC, getting a logo. And I know a lot of people get caught up with the logo, like, what do I want to look at, but there's always rebranding, okay, come up with something, just get it going. Like they say, get it on the books. You can finalize and, critique that later, but get it on the books. And then once your business starts growing and generating revenue, or even before, I'm not going to even say once it starts, you can actually trademark your business, which is another plus. That's a whole nother conversation in and of that part, the trademarking your business, because like Bert said, in Florida, you register on Sunbiz and you do a search. And as long as you're the only one that has that name, okay, you're good to go. But then if you're going to continue to grow, worldwide, nationally, internationally, you want to trademark that name. And you may want to trademark your logo.
Right.
So that's a whole nother entity that a lot of people don't touch on, but that's a whole nother search, a whole nother entity, but that definitely protects you and your brand. So some people realize, okay, I got this brand and I'm coming up with this name, and you go make 1,000 shirts for this particular, your company. But guess what? If somebody's already trademarked that and you're out here, I'm going to say advertise because you're advertising for your business and you may not know that is already a trademark brand, then that could be an issue. But again, some people don't see the need to do that because they may say, hey, right now I'm only bringing in, I'm going to say probably like $50,000 a year. But in reality, it's still good to do it because you never know where your business is going to go to. Right. So that's another important topic that we can talk later, because we will have a continuation of this, part 3, 4, because it's definitely helpful information. And we are trying to make a difference, not just in our lives, community, but, worldwide. So with that said, we will be, picking up off that, but that's another thing too with the business as well.
Right. And your logo don't have to be anything fancy. It can just be your name and fancy, in a nice lettering or whatever. It don't have to be anything dramatic. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And presentation. I'm big on presentation, real big. So, okay, your card, your business card, that speaks for you. It really speaks for you. So when you're going out, you know what I'm saying? Not saying, because a lot of people have gotten away with business cards. They may have the QR code now, right? But again, all of that represents you. You're representing your company. So while you're out, right, and whatever attire you're in, you're representing your company if you have on your company shirt or whatever. So your brand or whatever it is, make it something eye-catching. So that way, if you're at a networking event and say that a person is handing out cards, you may get 13 cards, but something that's going to make that person remember you. It could be a slogan, it can be a catchphrase, it can be your logo, your mission statement. I don't know, but something that's catchy. And I just remember when I was doing my business class and stuff, talking years ago, how many degrees I have. But anyways, that was one of the things that they did sell, is make sure that your business card speaks for you, right? Because you're going to hand that business card off. And while I'm handing mine off, somebody else may be handing theirs off. But again, it might be something on that card or within you that person's going to be like, oh, I remember her. I remember him. Boom, your card is speaking for you and your business. It's a representation of you. Mm-hmm. So just want to put that out there too.
Okay.
Yep. So
any
y'all have
questions?
Any more? Oh, sorry.
You're good, honey.
And Pika has posted some information, y'all, in the comments, like with starting your business. She's also posted Bert and information in there, and then also about contractor stuff. So if y'all want to come back to this live, of course, make sure you share it. Tell people that want to start a business and they need more information about different things. They can always come back to this live and watch, because it will be posted on the pages as well. So you have some resources in there as well to look at.
Good deal.
Right now, I'm up here. Gonna put the link for the EIN number, and that's free as well. The EIN number, and it's.
And did y'all touch base on the Duns?
We did not. I don't know what time are we at. We may have time.
Oh yeah,
y'all, Bert, Schwartz, want to touch base on the Duns and how important that is, or even Jessica. I'm going to get the link for that while y'all do that. So,
Jessica, go ahead.
Go right ahead, just.
So the Duns is pretty much just like your Experian and your credit. They're the ones that monitor with that business. Yes, with business. So you can set up with that once you get your EIN, and then you can go on there and you check your credit. The business credit is different than your personal credit. So the scores will not look the same once you go on there and check that. But that's
The letter, right?
You said.
He said you're Duns and Bradstreet. He says it's like a letter. That's what he's saying. It's a letter.
I don't know if it's a letter.
You do.
Okay.
You do. So with our personal credit, you get numbers.
Right.
The higher the number, blah blah blah. With Duns, you do get an alphabet letter.
Okay.
So you do. And then Sade is on here. She owned it tonight. She like, yep, Duns and register with NAV.
Right.
So that's very important. I'm gonna go ahead and look for the link for NAV as well.
Okay, so it's a number. I thought it was, it's a different number than your credit score.
It is, and it's totally separate. Yeah, right. And then the thing too, I know that's a whole other topic that we can get into. So I don't know how in depth you all want to go with that, or we want to do a part 3 for that, because even with that is ways you can go about doing your business credit, right? Oh, okay, my bad. They said it's a number. Tanisha said it's a number, and Sade said it's a number. And Tamika said, what do you tell someone that have a small business and only work it part-time and they want to make it big, but don't know, or what is it? Courage to do so. Okay. Don't know or have the courage to do so. Or what would you say to encourage them to step out?
Just do it. Cause I started, you just have to do it. I was doing mine part-time when I started out. It wasn't and I took a break when I had my baby. But when I was on maternity leave, I picked back up at that point, and that's when I really started studying. I really started doing now. So now I'm taking more risk with it, and that's one thing with business. They will tell you would have to take risk to see what you're gonna take. You're gonna fail in some areas. It's all trial and error. So taking risk, and you just really have to do it. It's no really in that aspect. It's really no strategy. That's something that you have to figure out what works for you. It's many resources out there. YouTube, like I said, I have a business coach. Before I got my business coach, I went to YouTube. I looked on YouTube how to set up my website. I went to YouTube how to create content. It's just like so much information out there. So that's one thing. And one thing they speak about is consistency. You have to stay in front of your audience so they remember who you are. So that's one big thing that a lot of coaches do speak on when it comes to business and stuff.
And then we also, I know, Jessica, you go to TikTok a lot for a lot of your information too. And I didn't know about going to TikTok for information either. And so Jessica was like, girl, go to TikTok and look for this, a lot of business stuff as well. So I do know that's another way as well to get out there. But I agree, just get out there and do it, because if you don't start, the biggest thing is starting. You know, that's even with anything you do. The consistency, starting, making it a habit, you know, that's very important. And then Sade is saying, invest a few hours each day with your own company at the same time you clock in for someone else.
Right.
That is very, very, very
yes,
smart.
if you don't, and I know some people say, stop your job and focus. No, if you're not able to do that, don't stop your job. Do not quit your job.
Yeah, don't do that.
Do not quit your job.
Yes, that's true. And Sade is saying, until you build a cushion to step out all the way. And that's pretty much what Jessica was kind of briefing on. Don't quit your job. You know, your 9 to 5, whatever's paying the bills, whatever's feeding your family, you know, you got to have something back up, you know. And there's some people that I do know that they're like, they only have like whatever dollars and they just go in full speed. But that is, I mean, whatever works. But I do agree, you know, have something to fall back on.
And I think I posted today actually on my story, because when I'm on Instagram on my business page, you know, Instagram and stuff, it goes by your algorithm of what you search for. So all I have on there is like content stuff. So that just shows exactly what I'm on Instagram doing. I'm looking for ways to build my business, build my brand, getting information. Because when it comes to that, Mika, I know you said Mika has a jewelry business, y'all. See, I'll go check her out too.
Yes, put your site on there so we can go ahead and post it on a thing too. And then JC, if you're still on, post your information and we'll definitely put the links out here. And anyone else that may have a business, we'll definitely put that out there too, you know, because I do know people do go back and rewatch our lives, and we are connected to more social medias, whereas like YouTube, Twitter, different stuff like that. So with that said, we definitely want to get the exposure out there.
Yes, definitely.
And then Sade, I'm going back with Shanika. She said, this is a lot of good information. Thank you. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a lot in business, but once you start going with it and start, you know, figuring out which way to go, resources, you know, like Bert and Schwartz talked about, we're getting started with everything and stuff like that. It starts, it's always changing, but it's a lot of information out there. So
definitely. So do we have any questions or anything? Because I do think they're planning on doing a part 3. I know earlier Schwartz said that he has some, his battery was dying or something like that. So that may be the case with him. Bert's hanging on. So we appreciate you. Jessica got her situation going, and I was actually okay tonight with the technology. So don't know first.
And Sade said you can start building biz credit and utilize other people's money, OPM, instead of using your own money. Yes, that is very, because y'all, you take a lot of
rich people stuff now, because you know a lot of people don't use their money. You know, when you really, I mean, Bert, come in please and speak on it.
I've been using my own.
Yeah, man, it's you only can go so far with your own money.
Right.
The whole point is to get a return. Get a return on your money. And so with inflation right now, people looking for returns on their money. So if you got a good idea, if you got a good plan, if you got a good deal, people willing to lend on that and take a risk and try to get a return back. So other people's money is definitely where it's at. But you know, you got to prove yourself. You got to show that you're worthy to take the risk, or the deal's got to be that good. But other people's money is where it's at. You can start with your money, but you'll see you only get so far. And you can do multiple deals, different ways when you use other people's money, and everybody's winning. You're making a return for them. You're giving somebody a good product, and you're making some money for yourself. And so it works. Other people's money is the goal, though, when you get to it.
I know.
It expands.
Yeah, I know when I was helping well, my dad, he has a construction company as well. And the first time I heard about hard money loans, I was like, what? Man, it's the truth. I'm telling you. So a lot of people don't realize that with that, but it's real. I'm like, okay,
hard money loans.
We're gonna do it, you know.
They'll give it to you. They'll give it to you. If you got something that's worth, investing in, and you got a deal. I mean, a lot of people know about wholesaling. Wholesaling is kind of the same way. If you got a deal, people gonna come and they want it. And so if you are any wholesalers out there, holler at me, and because I'm looking for deals, in the area. But people want good deals, no matter good times, bad times. If you got a good deal somehow, if you got a good business plan,
the business plan.
The business plan, and you showing this that this will work or could work, whether it be with any type of product, people will invest in it, and you'll be surprised. Just say, hey, listen, look at this business plan. Look at this. Would you be interested in this? And that opens up the question. Well, hey, explain it to me. Well, hey, this is what you're going to get back. This is what can happen if it went wrong.
That's true.
Yeah, that's it. But people want to make money. We want to make money, and they need good products to make money, whether it be your business or another vehicle to make that money. But people want their return on their money, because you're not making any money by saving your money.
You're not, and you're speaking of the investors, because a lot of people think with the real estate, right? If they want to get into real estate, they got to be the ones out there either building or having some part of that. But there are people that actually are in real estate, and they're not even doing any of that. They're just investing their money, but they're still in it, And
or just people finding the deals. It's even at the low totem pole, people find the deals.
That's true. Speaking of the wholesalers, that's correct.
Yeah, wholesalers, bird doggers, people that people just find deals, and we need those people. You know what I mean? It's people. You'll be surprised how people value wholesalers as a part of their business to flip homes. You know what I mean? We need people bringing you deals, saying, "Hey, this might something you like." I mean, you never know. So if you got a network of investors that are looking to buy something, you find a deal. Yeah, hard money is where it's at, man. And you got to be careful with the terms and make sure but hard money is a nice thing. Once you get with one lender or a few lenders and prove yourself, hard money is a good tool to use.
Good tool. And Tanisha saying that she agreed with Sade and a great credit score. And then Sade is saying business credit lines is the best. That's right. And then Akila saying they bought a few houses with hard money loans.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Akila. So are you and your husband, or just you? I don't want to, assume. Are y'all into like flipping homes, or I believe he's a contractor if I'm not mistaken. But just chime in if you don't mind. And then Akila, before she came on, she said, "Good evening, ladies." So I'm gonna go back. But good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Hey, some other good investment products though that are really big right now, and I don't know if they're kind of unknown, but this I'm doing this 203K loan. So 203K loan, Topeka, is a really good deal. What it does, it allows you to combine the purchase price and the rehab price of a home. So you combine the purchase price and the rehab price. But the big deal with this, and that's kind of what hard money lenders do. You can combine the total, right? But you got to come up with 25 to 30% down with them, right?
That's true. Yes, that's correct. And I didn't speak on that, so I do apologize. So thank you for that.
It's okay. Yes. Hey, it's okay. But the 203K, so they're going to combine. They're going to give you the purchase price and they're going to give you the rehab money, but they only want 3.5% down.
Whoa.
Oh. Yeah. So 3.5% down. That's all they want. So on a $200,000 deal, let's just say you buy the house for $150, you put $50 in it. On a $200,000 deal, you only need $7,000. So this is the 203K.
I'm gonna get with you after this, cuz I promise. So that's my God.
Yeah, the 203K is a good loan. And the good thing about the 203K is the minimum credit score is like 580. It's like one of those it's a low. So you have that one, then you have the home style loan. The home style renovation loans. It's the down payment's a little bit more. It's like 10%. But the 203K, you can even do a renovation loan. Long as the slab's still there, Topeka, Jessica, you can do a new build. You can tear a house down, but tear it to the slab. And then you can do a completely new build with 3.5%.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a real good product. It's a real good product. A lot of paperwork, but if you're doing FHA, if you're doing this type of loan, anyways, there's gonna be a lot of paperwork. But the 3.5% down makes it a really, really good way to get into it. Small investment and hard money. You're going to be looking at 25 to 30%, and you're looking at 10 to 12% interest. With this, you're looking at 3.5% down, and you're looking at it's a really good product. It's a really good product.
Dang.
Yeah, and remember I was talking about the inspector earlier. I was talking about becoming an inspector. That's a really big what we need in the building industry. We need more inspectors.
And on the real estate side, I'm gonna say I know when I was going to my I do a few networking events as well, and that was one thing. Like I remember it was towards like the middle of last year, and there were not enough inspectors out here, so people were buying homes and trying to close on them. But the inspectors, they wanted inspectors or whatever, maybe for whatever loan it was, they had to have it inspected, So a lot of the VA loans and some of the other loans, you have to have an inspection. But the inspectors were so booked up.
Oh, man.
And it's like, what the heck? So you're right about that. And they made good money too, if I'm not mistaken. Like
they
really
made good money. Yeah, we need more of them, especially in Florida, especially when it was booming, like you're talking about a couple months ago or like a year ago or so.
Yes.
We were way behind with inspections.
Dang. And then Akila saying that she did answer the question. She said, my husband, yes, we have a construction company and our roofing contractors. And I believe Bert, last live you did, you said you just got your roofing license. Is that correct?
Yeah, just became certified roofer as well. I haven't really implemented it in my business, but just a combination. I mean, whoever her husband is, they got a great business plan. Construction company mixed with the roofing business. It's just, I always found problems with the roofers. So if I can control the variable, I try to, and that's kind of what I did, controlling that extra variable with the roofing company. And then I also see a big need for it. You got to get screwed. I got screwed over by a roofer before, and I'm a pretty smart guy. So I want to bring some integrity to that field as well. Her husband's doing a great job. Her and her husband. So congratulations to you, Akila.
That is true. That is awesome. And then now Tamika saying she would love to do that, the inspector. So you need to get with Bert.
Yeah.
He's the man with the plan.
Hey, so those schools, what the information that I sent you to be what you link, those links, they have inspector classes. And I mean it's just so plentiful. You would be booked, if you wanted to invest your time in that, the work is there. And a lot of this stuff we're talking about from the trades, the work is just available. The work is there. It's not going to slow down anytime soon. I told you, construction doesn't really have a face. Anybody can do it. You don't need to be in it for 10 to 20 years, 5 years to know what you're doing. It's not that much to learn. It's not difficult. A lot of stuff, and there's different, avenues as far as getting into construction. But like I say, the inspector's a great deal. It's good. A lot of opportunity right now, though, in this area, I would say, too, from the building to construction.
And I'm going to ping on this because a lot of people think, like with the home inspectors, if you're getting a new home, you don't have to get it inspected. Now, I'm very anal. And even though my home was built from the ground up, this one, speaking of, I had it inspected still, right?
Yeah.
Because again, I don't know. I want to know what I'm getting into, even though it was brand new. So when I'm saying all that, just to say that even though your home is new, you still can have it inspected. So the job, the career opportunities with becoming an inspector or being an inspector is definitely there, And that's just, I'm speaking on, that's on a new build. Imagine if it's not new, where it's mandatory or required or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely opportunity out there, Mika, or anyone who wants to get into that. So, and then JC is saying, great Black business coming out the Bay. Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's the goal, JC. Yes. That's the goal, man, to connect and to grow together. You know what I mean? And no competition as far as, like I was saying earlier, it's plenty. It's enough for everyone. And, it really is. And the competition, I don't think the competition is just natural. I would say in the construction industry. I don't know why it is like that. I haven't been in it that long, but it's very like me against you. When I don't feel like it has to be that way because there's so much money available in this industry. You know what I mean? For people to get and the work available.
So Bert, I got a question. I know you spoke on before we, get off or whatever. I know you spoke of before someone works with you, you have to make sure they have insurance and all that stuff. So, know, when the hurricane came, we were in crisis mode.
Right.
So there were a lot of contractors coming out, scamming people and all that stuff. What is some information that you would give people to look for when somebody comes out and say, hey, I can fix your roof, I can do this or whatever? what are some things that they need to look for when working with a contractor? Hopefully praying we don't have to go through anything like that again, but you know.
Yeah, hey Jess, that's a really, really great question.
That's a good
And
question. Yes.
I'm just gonna tell you, Hurricane Michael is the reason why I became a contractor. Like I was flipping homes, and that's the reason. That was because I saw people get taken advantage of so bad. And when you're desperate, it's like when you're desperate, you just don't see the signs. You just don't see like the obvious signs, right? Because the contractors that you know of, they're literally backed up, like where they can't get to you because they're getting to all their top clients first. So you have your roof coming in, you have your walls getting wet, your clothes are getting wet. So you're like, hey, yeah, you got a hammer, you can fix my bathroom. That's kind of how people get, and you can't. You know, you get to that point where I can do it for you, but you got to go get the permits. You know, I can't do it, and that's one red flag. Is they're telling you to go pull the permit.
That is so true. That's true. And that's even without that. Like even if you get a shed or something like that, building is on a foundation, they should pull their permits. Permits.
Over $2,500, the contractor should be pulling the permit, or he's not qualified to do the job. He might know how to do the job. A lot of people in construction know how to do everything. You know, I can do that, and that's because you can. You know, you go to YouTube, you can watch somebody do it too. You know, but are you qualified to do it? You gotta. That's the big thing. But yeah, like she's saying, licensed and insured, but it's so, I would say it's so hard to like, it's a little extra work you got to do. You just got to go to the DPPR and make sure that they are literally licensed. And like I was talking about earlier, a lot of people will say they're licensed, but they'll be telling you about their, business license with the county instead of their actual trade license. So yeah, do a little bit of research, DPPR, look them up, make sure they're license, and then also a lot of people don't do this, is just ask them, can you see their insurance? Because that's what's going to protect you, is their insurance if anything happens. And in construction, most of the time if it happens, problems come up, and the homeowner, you want to be insured, even if you got a regular guy that doesn't need to be a licensed contractor. He just needs to have insurance if he's working on your house. You kind of feel weird asking him, hey, can I see your insurance? But that's your prerogative if you want to do business with him. You know what I mean? If you got a guy pressure washing your driveway and he uses the wrong chemicals on your plants and all your plants die, which happens a lot. It's like he doesn't need the license to do that, but he needs insurance. You know what I mean?
That happens.
It's for your protection. That's a benefit that you sell to a customer when you have insurance, is that, hey, I can, if something happens, we're insured, we can take care of you. But so just doing your research on them. Yeah, doing your research on them and going to the DPPR. Also checking out the BBB. If they're a storm guy, if they've been around, they probably got some BBB type claims or something going on, just to see if there was people that had something to say that was negative about them. Check the reviews, because the reviews are the best thing. They're like your friend in this industry. But you do got to do a little bit of legwork as far as making sure somebody's legit. But a lot of clients just don't have the time. It seems like it. But if you don't have the time to do that, at least make sure they have insurance and it's legit if something happens.
Or you can do a quick Google search too. If their name pop up, they've been arrested before for doing that.
Oh my God!
It happens. Hey, it happens a lot.
Experience, right? Go ahead, go on and do it.
Hey, the unlicensed contract, it happens a lot when the storm happens, and it's a felony. It's a felony, And people don't, if they think it's a game because you can do something, but it really is a felony.
That is so true.
But I would just say protect yourself. Do a little bit of research. Yeah, the BBB. Yeah, great. And you'll be fine, but don't be desperate. People can smell, especially these contractors.
Yes.
The integrity is already low in the contracting industry. I would say just they'll take advantage of it if they can. And it seems like
you got insurance too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's a check automatic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you definitely have to do your research. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, sometimes you might hire them to do that job, and the insurance, they'll say, yeah, but it maybe not, it's not enough, but they're just taking your check and taking that first check, and you never seeing them again. You know,
I've
that
heard
happens
that
a lot.
happening too in Panama
Yeah.
after the
Yes.
storm. That a lot of people got scammed. And
Yeah, the
And they
first
were
check.
pulling some contractors, they saying they were contractors, was just going in nearby neighborhoods, pulling people off the streets to come help do the work, you know?
Oh yeah, it's like
it
that.
was
And
a
then
money making
so
field at that time.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, and
Taking
so
advantage
it's,
of the people, especially the older people too, the elderly people. They're just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I may need my oxygen. I may need, electricity or whatever. I just want it fixed, and
yeah, it was
Right.
sad.
come in trying to fix it, but it's still not even up to standards.
Yeah.
Code is not up to code.
Hey,
Right.
I'm doing two insurance projects from Michael right now. 4 years later.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's so crazy to see. It's so crazy to see, man. And these people, just their house, their everything's in the garage. Like they haven't had their house in 4 years.
Right.
It's whether they've been battling with the insurance company or they just been battling with contractors, like they're on their third one. It's crazy to see, man.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it is.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. It's sad to see, but hopefully I can help them out. But it's a process, though. You're dealing with the insurance. They got to have a lot of people. You got to have.
Akila, make sure you have a contract and the work that you are having done is stated on the contract. Full details, pricing as well, warranty if applicable.
Right.
Man, I can tell you helping your husband. That's y'all company. Not you helping him. That's y'all company.
Yeah,
But
and that's so true.
That.
And that's so true because
Your
some
dad
people,
he had all that written out for me. So
Who did?
that's awesome.
your dad.
Oh,
when
okay. When he did yours.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Rod. Hey, Rod. Jessica,
Hey,
brother, my
brother.
brother from another mother.
What's
He said,
up, Rod?
Amen. Do your homework on the contract is 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's some people just. I just don't understand why it takes a couple minutes, but I guess it takes a little while. But people don't do the homework on a contract. It's like, but I think it becomes that desperate factor where they just were in a rush and they just needed it done, so they wasn't thinking correctly.
And some people, they are just a gift. They have, what is it? A gift of gab. They're out there and they're selling themselves like, hey, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm giving you a good deal. Let me help you. And people, again, they just like, okay.
Yeah. But Jessica, I do see some, more storms, more storms coming. So I would say strengthen your home. Strengthen your home. Or if you're a renter, have renter insurance.
Right.
Have renter insurance because
that is so good.
It's not getting any better from a weather standpoint.
And the thing is with the insurance, I know we're hopping all over the place right now, but it's a lot of topics. And this is a very broad topic. But with the insurance, they have to realize too that it has to be in place. And help me on this because I'm not 100% sure. But so many days before the storm hits, or it's not even valid. Yeah. And then a lot of people think they don't need flood insurance, right? Because they're not in the flood zone. That is not true.
Yeah,
if
a lot
your
of
home
people
floods from the washer, dryer, dishwasher, that's a flood.
It's a flood.
So you want to make sure that you're properly covered, just stuff that people don't think. And I think it was a mold issue too in Panama when the storm came in. And I think that was not in a lot of insurance policies.
Yeah. And that's why you got to be careful when you're dealing with insurance as far as saying mold from water damage. Water damage is a little different than mold. It's just determination where insurance is, they just don't want to pay. They just don't want to pay. And it's so crazy that we pay insurance, if you're a homeowner, if you're a renter, and then they don't want to pay. And they take people through the ringer, So having a good contractor that can help you out and let them know that, hey, this has to be fixed this way because of this, you know what I mean, and standing up for you. But they take advantage of people. They're getting took advantage of by the contract, and then they get taken advantage of by the insurance at the same time. So, and you lost your home. So it's a sad situation. And when you go through that, and hopefully people only go through it once or twice in their life. But the way the weather's going, I can see more storms coming.
Especially soon with this cold. Right now it's spring and it's freezing outside. I feel like I'm still in Alaska.
Yeah, it's wild. You can see it.
Wow,
but
it's been great.
You see, we got so much information. We went way over time, but I'm
way over.
Y'all let me know. You know what I'm saying?
So right now we're looking at doing a part 3. Both Schwartz and Bert has agreed to join us. So we're going to have them back on. I'm looking at my calendar now, so give me a second. It's going to be Tuesday on April the 4th.
Okay.
So those who are still on, or those who may go back and rewatch this and play at a later time, please join us at that time. We're going to go more in depth as well on pick up where we left off as far as getting the business registered and everything. My Bluetooth came out, getting that registered and everything, and then not just that, but even more information like we kind of went tonight. So it's a very broad topic subject, and it's a lot of information out there. And again, we want to touch masses. We want to help. We're about building, about growing. So that's very important as well. And we're going to just, end it, but we definitely want any more questions, last minute questions, statements or anything to come in. And again, bring your kids, bring your godsons, your nephews, your nieces even. I mean, this is not just a gender specific field industry, because we all can do it. And it's enough work
I think
out there.
The earliest that even kids, teenagers start off learning this. And we know a lot of times they don't listen when we tell them, but they will still have that in their mind, like, hey, I learned this back, when they want to, use it at some point. So it's very, 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 very good information for everybody to tune in. So
that is true. Yep. So if we have any more questions or statements, please go ahead and put them there, and we're going to try to address it before we sign off. And we did post a few links and stuff, and I'm going to star them. So they'll be there, kind of like standing out, for you guys. And like we said, just send your information over, your business information, because we definitely want to put it out there and go from there. So I don't think we have any right now, any questions or any statements, but thank you all for those who are still hanging around, and for those who did join us, and those who did not get an opportunity to join us, but we'll go back and watch our live. So we are appreciative of everyone and your time. And definitely we want to thank Bert and Schwartz for joining us.
Yes,
and
thank y'all
sharing the knowledge and sharing, just being a vessel, because again, we all need each other, and networking, iron sharpens iron, and it's definitely like a good thing. And we're all trying to build and motivate, encourage, and just see our community grow, see each other grow. And that's what it's about.
That's all it's about. Blessings, everyone. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And y'all have a good night.
Blessings, everyone. Bye.
Good night. Good night. Oh, before we leave, I'm so sorry, y'all. So next week, we will be talking. Jessica and I will have another live. It will not be with Bert or with Schwartz, because again, like I said, they're coming back in April. But next week, Jessica and I will be touching topic on, we're going to call it switching roles. Because as our parents get older, we kind of switch roles, coming into the world, our parents take care of us. But leaving out, sometimes it flips. And in a sense, is needed. Wow. So we're going to talk about that, and some of the stuff, the obstacles that's faced with dealing with that, how our lives change. And then talking about some of the topics, from dementia. What else is it, Jessica, we're going to talk about?
Available resources that people may not know about that's in the community to help if you need what they call respite care, which means that you need a break from just dealing with, that on an everyday basis, or even just for a little bit. So we're going to touch base on all of that next week.
Yes. And we may have a guest speaker on that if they want to share their story on, their experience, but we are still trying to work that out. But if not, we're going to be here bringing it and, tune in and stuff like that. Because again, it's something that we may be in that position one day. I know Jessica did find herself in that position not less than a year ago, having to help with her mom. And it was definitely a life-changing experience for her, going through it, and just, she stopped working, put off nursing for a little bit to be a full-time caregiver for her mother. And I know she wouldn't change it for the world, but it definitely was an adjustment for her. And we just definitely want to be that resource, that vessel for others in all, in different ways, different avenues. So we're here and we're bringing it from the Bay to Pensacola, back and all around the world. So we're here. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Schwartz, again. Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
And we love y'all. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday at 7:30.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.